Hi there, my name is CJ Mina. I'm a master's student working with Dr. Zhizhong Chen. My topic for my thesis is the dynamic modeling of Oxbow Lake sedimentation. So first off, what is an Oxbow Lake? An Oxbow Lake is a feature in a floodplain due to river meandering. River meandering is when a river changes its path of motion due to the energy in the river going through the path of least resistance. Now, over time, rivers will bend, and eventually these bends are not the path of least resistance. These bends then get cut off and turned into Oxbow Lakes. I have some examples from my study area in the PD River Valley or PD River floodplain, highlighted in yellow there on the left. So why is it important to study Oxbow Lake sedimentation? From a geologist's perspective, they're important as they preserve climate signals throughout history, and we are able to understand the history of climate in an area. They're important ecologically because animals use them and organisms use them as an important habitat because they are low energy. But from a pragmatic perspective, they're important for agriculture. A lot of the fertile farmland in South Carolina comes from the sedimentation of river and oxbow lakes. So it's important to study for the future of agriculture. Now, my question is, how do we create a better model of Oxbow Lake sedimentation? We understand the basics of Oxbow Lake sedimentation. The basics from sedimentation are to move larger grain sizes of any sediment particles, you need more energy, which is a shocker. Moving heavy things takes more energy. Real shocker, I know. But over time, what happens is, in this figure on the bottom left, the Oxbow Lake will get sediment into it, and then it moves farther from its energy source, the river. So over time, you'll start to see finer and finer sediment move into the Oxbow Lake. Now, even though we understand how these Oxbow Lakes fill in from a basic perspective, we don't understand all the dynamic factors that factor into this. For example, this study where I took the figure from only takes into account the flow of the river. Most studies don't take into account the geometry of the Oxbow Lake relative to the river, or even the river meandering while the Oxbow Lake is currently being sedimented in. My goal through my studies is to create a better hydraulic model to put together the pieces of how these Oxbow Lakes sediment. Now, with that in mind, my studies are very preliminary right now. I am still working with data on my computer just to make it function. And with that, I will end both this event and my talk with a metaphor. I have a car in my driveway, this car being Oxbow Lake sedimentation, that is broken. I have a toolbox and some parts to fix it. I don't know how exactly to fix it, but I know I have the tools and parts to do that. Thank you.